I'm Konnor Andersen, and this is Cyber Building Blocks, the 8 GTM stages for building a cybersecurity startup. Sales, marketing, and channels are different at each stage of growth. If you haven't already noticed, cybersecurity startups aren't usually the fastest growing 0 to 10 million ARR in 3 months story that you hear in the headlines today with these AI companies. Cyber is built on trust, and trust takes time. The more your trust builds, the different kinds of GTM strategies that you can apply. This creates pretty clear stages of growth for cybersecurity startups. And yes, you could probably treat your specific region or territory like a startup, and these stages and strategies still apply. Every stage of growth has different bottlenecks, and focus on alleviating those is your fastest way to the next stage. If you try to apply the strategy from a different stage, it doesn't always work for the scale that you are at today, and you might quickly burn through that VC money or the patience of your manager. Below, I have outlined each growth stage and a few of the GTM strategies that are most effective during each stage. Let's jump into it. Stage 1, founder-led sales to about $1 million. This is where everyone starts and it lasts till about $1 million in ARR. Too often I see founders try to hire an AE or a head of sales to bring in that first revenue, and to be honest, I've never seen it be successful. The first handful of sales are evangelist in style, and no one is going to be able to sell the vision and limited product better than you can as a founder. If you need someone to do sales during this stage, that person is a founder and should be treated like such, including on the cap table. The easiest path to early revenue is from your own personal network, which is why many founders come from a cyber background, so they have a built-in network to get those first few design partners. After that, looking at your VC's network or CISO communities are usually the best option. You're starting to see some recent founders do a great job about building in public, and this is leading to some inbound momentum, which can be extremely helpful when you have limited marketing budget, if any at all. Stage 2, pre-product market fit sales, from 1 to about 5 million in ARR. Okay, so now we have a few customers, you've hired your first 2 reps. Yep, hire in pairs. If you can't afford 2, you can't afford reps. And now you learn how to hire, onboard, and ramp 2 reps. This is the main goal here, is to really start narrowing in on who your ICP is. Your AEs want to be pretty technical in nature and okay with the chaos that is early stage selling. Since you already have 1 million in customers, you should be able to set them off to find customers that look identical to the ones that you have already proven value for. Remember those design partners from stage 1? So, if you already have a financial services customer that has 2,500 employees and is headquartered in San Diego and has tech stack ABC and pain point XYZ, and you sold them product number 1, you should go plot that customer on a map, yep, a physical map, and draw a 10-mile radius and find every single customer that matches that exact same ICP and reach out to them in a very targeted way. You are growing from 1 to 5 million. You don't need to be worried about scale. You need to be worried about product market fit and knowing who your ideal customers are. Pro tip, if you have momentum during this stage, VCs will usually be all over you trying to invest in your next round. Those meetings can quickly get out of control and take up a ton of time. One way to support the sales efforts while still trying to take those meetings is to ask them to bring someone from their security network to the meeting, and you'll show them the product that way. I have firsthand experience with this being very, very successful. Stage 3, finding repeatability, from about 5 to 15 million in ARR. This is where it really starts to feel like a sales team and not just an extension of your founder's selling process. You now have a true VP in place and can focus on running the operations and scaling the team efficiently. This is not, great, let's go hire from 3 to 30 AEs overnight. No, please don't. You'll thank me later. Security deal sizes can be large, so having a few dozen customers puts you in this range. But that doesn't mean that product market fit is set in stone. You are now fighting with some of the platform players who see your category as worth the effort to invest and take market share. This stage is preparing for the battle to come. It's building the foundation, formalizing your sales process, making sure that you have the pitch deck and other collateral that you need to be successful, and starting to bring in a wider marketing team to work in conjunction with your sales team. They work hand in hand. Marketing doesn't work for sales, sales doesn't work for marketing. Leave the politics at the door. There isn't any room for that in a startup. You'll still have to drive most of the pipeline yourself. Don't expect inbound leads to be plentiful. Stage 4, filling out the teams from about 15 to 30 million in ARR. In cybersecurity, this is the hardest stage in my opinion. You need to decide if you're going to get acquired or if you're going to push for scale. You might have team members that continue to scale, or you might have to hire people that have seen this stage before. You are still a little small to get the time and attention from channel partners that you want, but you start to get little tastes of what that's like. This is where you really need to understand what your bottleneck is and focus on that variable until it's no longer your bottleneck, and then move to the next. It's too easy to think that you just need to hire, when that isn't always the solution. Fill out your teams, but keep focus as long as you can. It's easy to start getting distracted with global expansion at this stage, but you really don't need that yet. Stage 5, building a revenue org from about 30 to 100 million. This is where the organization comes together. You hire a true CRO, bring sales, marketing, and channel into one cohesive motion. Hiring incredible frontline managers is the most important during this stage. The CXO level can be completely aligned, but the ability for strategy, direction, and execution to make it to the field will be very dependent on how the frontline managers communicate everything to their teams. If you feel you aren't seeing the impacts on the front line, go speak with them. And if they are hearing it from the frontline manager level, then you are also getting it right. Often they aren't, quote, doing what you say because they feel you are too disconnected with what customers and partners are actually saying. Never stop talking to customers and partners as you scale. The best part about this section is you can truly start to invest and see the benefits of the channel. I spoke all about that in last week's newsletter, so make sure you go check that out. Stage 6, global scaling, from about 100 to 250 million in revenue. This section is simple. You're basically going to repeat stages 1 through 4 over and over again in each theater. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Start with one, get momentum, then move on to the next. There are 2 very important things to get right in this stage. Number 1, hire incredible people. Ideally, better than you did in your headquarter country. You can help cover locally, but you need those leaders in other countries to act as the founder and CEO in that region. Number 2, invest more than you think you need to. Don't hire a skeleton crew, give them little to no money, and then expect them to make magic happen. Still be fiscally responsible, but make sure they have the proper funding to be successful. Stage 7, pre-IPO rhythm, from about 250 to 500 million in ARR. I know you want to go public, but I'm sorry, with today's public markets, you just aren't big enough yet. Back in 2020, we used to say in cyber that if you could be at 200 to 250 million and growing at 50+%, you could make the jump. Kind of crazy to think about that, but back then, SentinelOne, Darktrace, and a handful of others IPO'd at that revenue scale. In 2026, you need to keep growing. Work on the revenue in each global theater, but also consistent quarterly production. You can't go public by growing 300% in one quarter. You need to make sure you could stay at 50% plus year over year and be predictable each quarter. Your board will really help here in making sure that the quarterly revenue targets are hit, and you can start practicing to be a public company. Stage 8, public company excellence, everything above 500 million. In cybersecurity, if you can maintain your growth rate and not be hemorrhaging money when you get to this scale, you can start to get ready to go public. Ideally, you've been thinking about this for a couple of years now because you will need 8 quarters of consistency in order to be able to show that publicly when you file. Hint, if you're an employee at a startup right now that has been promising that you are going public any day, check if you've been hitting revenue targets for the last several quarters. If you've missed, you might want to start that 8-quarter clock over. Sorry. By now, the quarterly rhythm and discipline is built in, you have a strong leadership team, and you are ready for the public markets. The curveball that happens, it's not an endpoint. It's just a mile marker on the journey, but many on your team will have this be their finish line. So you will see voluntary churn tick up, and you'll have to backfill some key people that have been on the journey with you up to this point because they have cashed out or are ready to just move on to the next chapter in their life. Expect it. It's totally normal. Just be ready for it. That's a wrap. Pretty easy, right? Cybersecurity growth cycle. Stage 1, founder-led sales to about $1 million. Stage 2, pre-product market fit scales to about $5 million. Stage 3, finding repeatability. Stage 4, filling out the teams. Stage 5, building out a revenue org. Stage 6, global scaling. Stage 7, pre-IPO rhythm. Stage 8, public company excellence. Sales, marketing, and channels all look different at each stage of growth. Running the playbook that took you to your current level might be the exact reason you can't get to the next. Here's what I'm trying this week. Remember, I'm in the trenches building just like you. Before I focus on scaling out the team in stage 4, it's really important that I nail down who our ICP is. When I add team members, I want to be able to explain to them who is a perfect fit for us today. Not who we want to build for in a few years, not what the product roadmap is going to fit in a few quarters, but today. I want to be able to tell my new channel account managers which kinds of accounts are in our sweet spot so they can communicate that clearly to our partners to enable them to bring the right kinds of deal registrations. I want to be able to tell our new account executives so that they can focus their prospecting efforts so they can be more efficient, yes, but more so, remain confident. There's nothing more demoralizing than doing cold outbound to any and everyone, having no clue who to really focus on. So that's my number one focus right now. Who is our ideal customer? I'm looking at our current closed won customers and looking for similarities. Size, location, industry, tech stack, pain point, etc. I'll dive more into how we nail down ICP next week. That's all for now. Keep fighting the good fight. Konnor.